Welcome back to the FlipNerd.com REI Classroom, where experts from across the real estate investing industry teach you quick lessons to take your business to the next level. And now, let's meet today's expert host.
Hello there. Welcome to the REI Classroom. My name is Michael Blanc. You're in the right place if you want to learn all about apartment building investing. Today I'm going to talk about how to handle a situation where your broker asks you for proof of funds and, well, you don't have any.
This show is sponsored by PassiveRental.com.
So I write a lot about raising money because it's a critical skill to learn if you want to get into apartment buildings investing, and you would want to do that so that you can replace your income with real estate in the next 3 to 5 years. So raising money is critical because most people don't have a ton of their own money. Now here's one of the challenges of raising money is sometimes you get asked by the broker for proof of funds. And as a syndicator, well, the reason you're raising money is because you don't have the funds. So therefore you have no proof of your non-existent funds. And you have a real problem. And so I want to share with you kind of 6 tips on how to address the situation of proof of funds. And there's actually 6 of them. Here they are. So tip number 1 is don't sound like a newbie. All right, now the vast majority, there's really 2 reasons why brokers ask for proof of funds. There's one, because you sound like a newbie and they're concerned that you won't be able to close because you don't know what you're doing. And number 2 is because they're following a checklist that they either put in place themselves or the seller insists on proof of funds to weed out the riffraff. But the vast majority, 80% of the time, is because you sound like a newbie. And this is a great way for the broker to make the newbie knuckleheads, tire kickers, go away. And so they ask for proof of funds. So tip number 1 is don't sound like a newbie. I have an article on this on the website, themichaelblanc.com. It's michaelblanc.com. And it's basically how to not sound like a multifamily newbie, all with dashes. Okay, so how, then dash, to not sound like a multifamily newbie, and multifamily is written together. There's an article there of what you can do, some scripts you can use so you don't sound like a fool. And number 2, of course, is to educate yourself so you're using the right language. But that's oftentimes the number 1 reason you're asked for proof of funds is because you sound like a newbie. So let's say you don't sound like a newbie, but you still get asked for a proof of funds. What do you do then? You follow tip number 2. You basically push back. You basically, look, Mr. Broker, I understand your concern about our ability to close, but, I have a team in place. I have investors in there. We're syndicating this deal. We don't have the money laying around. It'll be in a bank account, a week before closing. So I can't actually give you a proof of funds. But how about this? Why don't we get together for a lunch meeting? And if at the end of it you don't feel comfortable moving forward with me to contract or letter of intent or whatever the case may be, we'll part as friends. Now you're pushing back and you're saying you're calling for a meeting to get it's a comfort level thing. If after hearing your story about all the things you've done, the team you've built, and the deals you're looking at, and the investors you recruited or whatever, they make out, look, and this happens very, very, especially if you meet them in person. They kind of say, I get it now. You're really serious about this stuff, and I can sell you to my seller. It's a great way to push back, explain the situation, and suggest an in-person meeting to make that broker comfortable. All right, so tip number 3, if that don't work, then I would make the proof of funds contingent on on the signing of a letter of intent. So make it contingent of within 48, 72 hours, I will supply a proof of funds. And that does 2 things. Number 1, it buys you time. But number 3, when you get a proof of funds, which we'll talk about in the next tips, if you actually have to get a proof of funds, you don't want to run to get proof of funds for something that's not real. And real is a signed document, right? Because, and I'll explain to you the process of getting a proof of funds, but it's onerous on behalf of the person you're getting them from, and you want to use those lightly. So if you must agree to a proof of funds and make it contingent on signing something, an LOI, or maybe even better, a contract. Within 48 hours of signing the contract, I will get you the proof of funds. So the farther back you can push it, the better. The minimum is signing of an LOI. I wouldn't even say anything before then. I'm not with the LOI, it's within the LOI, because otherwise I'm not going to my investors for no reason whatsoever, not even knowing if we have some agreement here. So I would totally push back in that way. So tip number 4, if you've done those things and you actually now need to get something. So one thing you can do is you can demonstrate intent, not quite by providing a proof of funds, and I'll talk about what that is. But so instead of providing an actual proof of funds, what you do is let's say you have verbal commitments from your investors. What you do is you basically have them sign a very small one-page letter of intent to invest. It says, hey, Michael's a good guy. I have $100,000 I want to invest with him, and if the deal's right, I will invest with him. Kind of like an intent. And you have, let's say you're raising $250,000 and you have 5 people at $50,000, then you have each one of those investors sign this document, and you can include that with your letter of intent that you're submitting as an offer. And it just makes your offer more credible, and it would actually possibly satisfy that requirement. Now, if that does not satisfy the requirement, you need to actually you've done all these things, and it just simply does not satisfy it, and you really want to get in this deal, and you haven't walked from this guy because he's being a pain in the butt. If you actually must get a proof of funds, here's how you do it. Get it from one of your investors or another high net worth individuals. Now, what you're looking for is this. Here's what a proof of funds is. It's either an excerpt of an account statement, a brokerage account or bank account with the account number, crossed out. Or it could be even better. It could be a one-page letter from the financial institution of this individual that says, so-and-so has, $400,000 in management with us. Please call me with any questions. And it doesn't cost them anything. It's very easy to produce. And you can actually create the template for them. And it's just very easy to do. And the person, number one, who's providing you with proof of funds doesn't actually have to invest with you at all. It could simply be a friend of a friend who wants to help you with this letter. And it does not obligate him to use the money or invest with you at all. And this kind of makes the whole proof of funds thing kind of a meaningless exercise, because you provide this proof of funds, and if it's not in the name of LLC you're buying in, then it's kind of sort of useless, right? But first of all, you don't even have the entity created that you're buying a building with, so you can't provide a proof in the entity. And 99% of the time, you're not going to be asked for that. So basically what you're providing is you're showing someone that you know someone with money. That's how meaningless the proof of funds exercise is, which is why I kind of, I belittle it on the one hand, but on the other hand, sometimes you got to jump through the broker's hoops, and that's what we're doing here. So that you basically, tip number 5 is get it from a high net worth individual that you know who wants to help you. All right, that's all I have for today's session, but if you want more information about raising money, please check out my other articles here on FlipNerd, as well as my site, themichaelblanc.com. I have a free ebook you can download on raising money, and I have other articles and podcasts and videos all about apartment building investing, but a lot of it is on raising money. So thanks very much for your attention, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the REI Classroom. All right, take care.
PassiveRental.com is your source for turnkey, done-for-you rental properties. If you'd like to be an investor and not a landlord, please visit PassiveRental.com to learn how to purchase cash-flowing, professionally managed rental properties in the hottest rental markets across the country. We can also help connect you with financing for your next property. Invest the easy way today and get started by visiting PassiveRental.com. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Are you a member yet of FlipNerd.com, the hottest real estate investing social community online? If not, you can join for free in less than 30 seconds and get access to hundreds of off-market deals, vendors in your market to help you in your business. And you can start networking with thousands of other investors just like you. Get your free account now at FlipNerd.com. Please check out the FlipNerd family of real estate investing shows, where you can access hundreds of expert interviews, quick tips, and lessons from leaders across the real estate investing industry. They're available at flipnerd.com/shows, or simply search for FlipNerd in the iTunes Store.